Hey, how's it going, guys? So today I'm going to be going over the current market conditions and how I'm preparing for a potential massive move, but it really does depend on whether or not we consolidate in this area or not, and how that consolidation breaks, whether it breaks to the upside or the downside. There's one very key level that we got to watch that could cause the next massive bull run that we're been waiting for since we started this range back in February. So there's that. I also am going to be going over when it's appropriate to potentially quit your job as a day trader, to become a day trader. This is going to be a longer video that you're used to because I'm just going to be talking about that stuff on a little bit of a rant. And also, I want to bring up the fact that I changed my layout a little bit. So when we switch over to share my screen, it's going to look a little bit different. And I want your opinion and tell me whether or not you think it was a good idea to make that switch, or if I should just switch it back to the way it was. Maybe you liked it the way it was before, or maybe you like the new changes. So just let me know if you like the new changes or not. And if you do, then I'll permanently switch it to the way it is now. And lastly, I want to also quickly talk about the fact that I'm going to be starting up the 50K challenge again. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically you can start with $100, you can start with $1,000, and I'll be walking you through how you can turn that into $50,000. And if the criteria is less than 1% in our stop loss, for our stop loss in our trade, I'm going to be entering it into a copy trader. So anyone who misses the previous trade setup with our signals, you'll be able to jump in with the copy trader. And my intent and my goal is to help grow your account to $50,000 or more. Now, I'm going to be trading, just to be fully transparent, I'm going to be trading with $100,000 to try to grow this $100,000 account to $1 million. And it's the reason why I'm starting with 100,000 and not with a lower amount of funds is because I felt like I've already did the grind, guys. And I just want to help you get you to my stage so that when you are making trades with me on my signals and stuff like that, you'll be able to use this account to potentially quit your job if you want to. Because I know a lot of people are treated like cattle with their 9 to 5. So this is going to help you basically go through that. Of course, none of this is financial advice, blah, blah, blah. But I just want you to know how I'm entering. I'm going to be telling you exactly what percentage you should be entering with and when I'm exiting, all that stuff. It's the same way I always do my signals, except I'm going to be walking through the risk management side of the fence as well. So it's kind of like an accountability project to help grow your account and compound your account to $50,000. So if you have any questions about that, you can reach out to me in the Discord. Yeah, so let's get into the video, and I hope this video helps you out, and I appreciate everyone who's been subscribing, and I'll see you in the inside. I'm going to go over the 15-minute time frame. So today we went in on a short. So yesterday we touched on it a little bit, but it didn't play out exactly as how I predicted, so it's fine. But anyways, we did that long position yesterday, and it worked out really, really well. After we got a rejection off the 4-hour time frame, I closed my position right about here, and I was extremely happy with my gains. And then shortly after, we had the value area high act as a form of support right here. I know right now it's showing it right here on my screen, but it's updated from all this price action that occurred right here. But it was right about here, and it came up and bounced, and we created a break off of this 4-hour level of resistance. And we failed to have it act as a form of support after we had this little combat phase against the strong level of resistance. And if you don't know where this resistance comes from, let's go to the 4-hour for a second. You can see that during this range, we had price action use it as a form of support, resistance, resistance, and resistance. And then we ended up double topping shortly after that and dropped. And we came up here and we combated again for the first time since April. So it's been a while since we've been up here, I guess. But anyways, we had that little combat phase, and we lost the fixed range volume profiles level of support right here. So we had this value area low that we lost. We had to consistently act as a form of support, and then we lost it right here. This was the break, Now I wanted to wait for that extra confirmation rejection before entering so I can have a better stop loss guard. Because the stop loss guard would have been like up here at the time, and I wanted to have something roughly around here so we can get a better risk to reward ratio, because we were targeting the this low level right here, and our first take profit was going to be the value area high right here, and we got that confirmation. However, I wanted it to break the 4-hour resistance with the confirmation, and it didn't. So I stepped back and we stayed away from it at first. We were doing this together during like a live trade hunting call. And we waited, and we ended up having this pump like right after this candle closed. So luckily we didn't jump in, because our stop loss would have initially been roughly around here after this rejection. And we might not have given it enough breathing room to prevent this wick from hitting our stop loss. But luckily, shortly after, we had the candle close and we broke this level. And so we got acceptance back inside this macro structure, and we entered the short. Our stop loss started off here above that little wick, and then we targeted those low levels, and we started off with the 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio. But as we got lower, like here, we moved our stop loss to here, and then when we got this lower low here, we moved our stop loss here, and I actually ended up closing my trade roughly around here after that doji right here. But now we can prepare for a potential long opportunity, and I'm thinking that we might actually build a range in this zone. So if we break this downtrending momentum and confluence with the change of character, or maybe we'll build more structure first, but whenever we get that change of character, we can enter that long, and I'll be watching the previous value area low right here as a form of resistance, as well as this level along the way up. And I'm anticipating that we might actually end up building a potential strong continuation structure, like based on the fact that we are approaching broad momentum right here. And this broad momentum came from the moment we entered that long over here, we started tracking this. We didn't know at the time that this was going to be evolving momentum here from that bounce, and then we lost the evolving momentum when we got squeezed against this resistance. But we do know that it's still there, and we haven't retested it yet. So this could create a potential squeeze, and we could look at something potentially like this in the market. So I'm waiting on that. I want to see what kind of reaction we get before I think about entering any new trades. So I'm just being patient and waiting for more structure so I can see what kind of behavior the market's going to give us, and then we can look at for a trade there. But I'm anticipating for us to get a recovery within this green zone here. We'll get that change of character. Whether we get it right here when we can break against that, and then maybe we'll double bottom or something like that. But either way, I'm waiting for structure in this zone before I enter it long. But I do want you to be mentally prepared for a specific scenario that might occur. So we are at the value area high, right? And if we do get a high volume break, and if we break this horizontal level resistance in confluence with a break of 71,570, what this will look like in the larger time frame is basically the value area high acting as a form of support and creating a confirmation that we might be exiting this value area. So the exact same way that we would do a value area trade on the lower time frames, right? With this one, for example, or when we got that bounce and we got that higher high and we were going to do that entry, or when we escaped it to the downside here and we're preparing for that short. It's the same thing in the higher time frames. So we might be getting that confirmation bounce and confluence with that break of that horizontal resistance, and this could be the move that we need in order to create new all-time highs. So if we get that, obviously we have to watch out for the previous all-time high level to act as a potential form of resistance, because once we get up there, guys, 100% of people are in profits. So that means 100% of the supply is in a profit. So the people are bound to potentially take profits in that area, and it could likely create a form of resistance. So the buy pressure has to outperform the sell pressure in order for us to get that continuation. And with what's going on in the markets right now with GameStop and all that fun stuff, it's very possible that we might have enough momentum to drive the price to higher places. I would prefer if we, of course, consolidate in this area a little bit first, and then we can jump in during the break of that consolidation. but of course it's not up to us. So I just want you to be prepared for that potential move. No matter what, we got to be watching this resistance, whether we consolidate here or not. But we could get that confirmation sooner rather than later. So just prepare for that mentally. But anyways, yesterday I also spoke about how I would want to help you know when it's time to potentially quit your job. So I want to go over that really quick. I'm just going to find a blank spot to draw on. But basically, a lot of people look at trading like it's this really big, intimidating thing. There's lots of stuff to learn. And I'm not going to lie to you, there is quite a bit to learn. But every single thing you learn in trading is going to bleed into your life in a very positive way. So everyone looks at trading like there's this giant wall of knowledge, and it's going to take you a long time to be able to jump over it and become a day trader, or even if it's not to be a day trader or quit your job or anything like that, or if it's just something that you want to learn so you can have a skill to earn a side income. You got to think of it like there's steps. So if we have, this step here or like this step here, each one of these steps is like a skill you're going to have to learn in order to become a trader. The first thing you want to learn is just honestly how to control yourself. Your mindset is incredibly important. If I gave you all the rules and I taught you everything that I know and I uploaded my brain into yours, it won't matter if you can't follow the rules that I give you, right? If you try to force a trade, or you FOMO or you FUD and you do take action on stuff that you shouldn't be taking action on, then it doesn't matter what you learn as a trader, because you're just going to shoot yourself in the foot. And what I mean by this is when you're trying to develop a strategy and you build a strategy and you find out what your expenses are in a month, right? You figure that you need to make $4,000 a month. If you divide 4,000 by 30, it would mean that you need to make about $133 per trade, and you need to do 30 trades. But your strategy might not provide you 30 trades in a month, or your strategy might not provide you $133 per trade, or it could be your account size might not provide you $133 per trade too. So you might go and break your rules to try to give yourself a larger amount of income, but instead you end up losing because it never met any of your rules, and you have no idea what your probability is because you broke your rules. So mindset is incredibly important. I would recommend Mark Douglas. Just look him up. He's a great author. He's someone I looked into when I first started trading. He's more of a mindset guy. So if you look into Mark Douglas, you'll find lots of books on mindset that help you out particularly with trading and helping you find your edge. And then after that is risk management, which is kind of weird because it ties in with your mindset quite a bit. So if you have your risk management comes in multiple forms. You're going to have to back test your strategy. If you want to, for example, only enter a short when there's bearish divergence, or only enter a long when there's bullish divergence, in combination with like 4 other rules. And all the 5 of these rules have to be met before you enter a trade. When you find out what your rules are, you can go back in time on replay mode on TradingView and find out after the last 4 years of trading on X time frame, whether it be the 15-minute time frame or the hourly, you can find out what your win rate is. You can find out what's your so your win rate is going to tell you like how much percentage chance you're going to have a win or a loss, and it's going to also tell you how many trades you get per month. And if you only get like 15 trades per month, then it would tell you that you might need 2 times more money than you thought you would if you wanted to use that strategy as a day trader. So so your risk management should also include like learning like a fixed amount of what you're willing to lose in a trade. If you are trading with $1,000, you should be risking to lose $10 to gain 20. If you're trading with $10,000, you should be risking to lose $100 to gain 200. And if you're trading with 15 grand, you should be risking to lose 150 to gain 300. And that's going to give you information on, and if you take that data against your average win rate, you'll know exactly how much money you're going to make 100, 200, 300, 400 trades from now, to the dollar, basically. There's some probability that will be there as well, and that mostly comes from your mindset, or maybe a shift in the market as well that might say that your strategy might need to be fine-tuned or something like that. You can always try to improve your strategy, but you should always back test what you add or remove from your strategy before you try doing it in the live environment. So there's risk management, and then on top of that, your strategy is the last part. So your strategy is going to tie in with your risk management. When you do your back testing, you simply just go in replay mode, guys. You click on the replay button. Sorry for the cough there. But you go back in time with replay mode, and you can, every single time your rules are met, you can find out, okay, for the past like 4 years, this is what my win rate was. This was what my average profitability was. This is how much I lost on average with this strategy. And then you can find out, okay, maybe I shouldn't be using this strategy. Maybe I should add another rule, or maybe I should adjust a rule, and stuff like that. Like the indicators that I like to use, if you want to use them, I use the fixed range volume profile. So you're going to have to learn about value areas. I used formations. The formations tell you what the market makers are essentially planning in combination with the order books. So you can see what the market makers are doing at the current time in case you are wrong. And you should also create a list of assets. Like if you want to say, for example, Bitcoin doesn't provide you enough opportunities, maybe you want to add another 4 or 5 assets to your list to see if, and back test those assets too, to see if your strategy works well with them. And you can maybe add more trades to your possibilities for your setups. But remember, Bitcoin's the boss. So if you're trading an asset with its own relative strength, it'll help a lot. So try to find something that moves outside of Bitcoin's movement. It's going to be kind of tough in the crypto space, but there are some out there. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Just make sure you backtest. Backtest is the biggest thing. And knowing how much you need to make in a month, and make sure you give yourself some extra room. If this helps you guys out, you can reach out to me in the Discord. I hope this helps. You have yourself an amazing day, and I appreciate everyone who has subscribed so far. It's helped quite a bit. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hey yo, I'm all about the crypto. In case you don't know, it's the heads doing inflation, the craziest sweep on the nation, the baby.